Well, hello there and welcome back. This is episode 50 of my Minecraft 1.16 Let's Play. Despite this being a pretty big milestone, I don't have anything really big planned because honestly most of what I do is pretty big. So for this episode, all we have planned is hopefully, if we have time, we're going to trap a wither. But before that, I need to make a building that's capable of holding about 3 million items. No big deal. This building is going to be made largely out of quartz, so I've been doing a bunch of trading with these villagers in order to get the quartz. They actually also have a quartz pillar trade as well as the block of quartz, which was actually pretty useful because we did need 2 shulker boxes, a quartz pillar. Got a little bit extra here just in case, but I'm all done with the quartz pillar. Now I just need blocks of quartz. Need about 4 shulker boxes of that. I'm up to 3 almost right now, so a little bit further to go. AstaZora did help me a bit with some of this trading because this is actually going to be a group project that we're working on that's leading towards an even bigger group project in the future. I'm also going to need a whole bunch of gray concrete that's going to be used for the structure and floors, and so that didn't take me very long to set up. But if we look at the material list in here, we can see that it's actually going to almost completely drain me out of wood. It's a shulker box and a half, a chest, and almost a shulker box of hoppers. We're not going to quite set up all of that just yet, but still we're going to have storage for about 3 million items. So between this building and the storage building that I set up recently, I am running out of wood really fast, and my tree farm back here has been broken for about a month and a half, and I'm done fixing it. I just haven't gotten around to replacing it yet because I had plenty of wood, but I'm starting to lose it really quick, so I might have to do something about this really soon, but not today. And also there's been a bit of creeper damage in this building. Nothing too bad, but a lot of this has been damaged, and you're going to need to deal with that at some point in the future as well. So there's a bunch of other items on this list that I need to gather together. Nothing too big. All the big items are the things I've already listed. Most of the rest of this is small numbers of other items, but there are a lot of different items that are going to go into this. So let me set all that up as well. Oh, by the way, those tooltips for the shulker boxes I just showed are part of Mini HUD, and I think they're pretty cool, and I just learned about it. So if you have Mini HUD and you go into the configuration, which by default is H and C, then under generic, there is an option for shulker box preview, and I've set it to true. It's normally false. There's also an option for beehive tooltips, which is also pretty cool. And I just learned about that. I thought I'd pass that information along. So apparently I went a little bit overboard with lapis lazuli blocks on this build. Requires 525. I've done as much trading as I can tolerate for now, and I'm only about halfway there, so I'm going to have to use some placeholder blocks or something temporarily until we can gather all that lapis. But I've got all the rest of the items required for the build here in this chest, so I'm going to grab all this together, take it to spawn, and we'll start building. Well, I really wanted to have a time lapse for this, but unfortunately replay mod came out for 1.16. I thought I'd give it a try, have a more interesting replay, but there was an incompatibility with Optifine, and both of them are in beta, so hopefully the issue gets resolved at some point in the future. But the replays for basically everything above ground just don't exist, and I think it would have been really interesting to watch. There were parts where AstaZora and I were building different parts of the same building at the same time, and I think that would have been really cool to see that coming together, but I've got nothing to work with. So you deal with the hands you're dealt. So we just have a giant jump cut to the building being done. This took 2 days for 2 of us to put together, and it actually took me about 3 days in creative to build this. I got a lot of time invested in this, and it sucks that we didn't get a replay out of it, but it is what it is. I think, though, that it was very much worth it. I'm really happy. I love this building. I think it looks amazing. So the idea here is that we're going to have kind of a downtowny feel. We want to do a museum at some point in the future where we can have different artifacts and interesting items from different points in the world. So, you know, that kind of gave me this idea that this would be a bank, would have a museum, and we gave this kind of a downtowny, natural stone kind of feel. So we might put a building around this iron farm at some point in the future, or move it, and we might also move my house at some point in the future, but I think this looks amazing. I actually started with one of AstaZora's designs that was a little bit too dark, so I started replacing some of the blocks with brighter blocks and stuff like that, and this design just completely ran away with me. It looks nothing like the design I started with. AstaZora is not mad. He really loves this design, and now he gets to use his design on something else, and he actually ended up doing quite a bit of the interior as well, because the interior I came up with was actually kind of boring. I'm not very good with interiors, and what he came up with I think actually looks really, really good. It's a little bit over the top, but I think that's kind of the point, and I really love this design in here as well. So this main level here is basically just a bunch of double speed choker box loaders. So the farm we're going to set up is going to put out 90,000 items per hour. So that requires at least 10 sorters to handle it. So each of these choker box loaders has 2 sorters that feeds into it. So we really only need the first 5. I've got another one right here just to make sure that, you know, if anything gets by these first 5, that it gets into there. But eventually we're going to run out of choker boxes. I'm going to AFK this farm for about 24 hours. So that's going to put out about 2 million items. We just do not have enough choker boxes for that. So eventually that's going to fill up, and we've even got some chests up above, and those are going to fill up as well. So I've got 6 extra rows of sorters just to make sure that we get all of the items, and that's plenty of storage. And then over here, just to complete it, you know, we might want some storage for future items. We can actually go up to the chest level right here. We can see this. So yeah, I think there's about 32 chests per row or something like that. In total, the chests should store about 2.6 million items. And then once you include all the hoppers and the extra chests per row, we should be pretty close to 3 million. And then once you start storing things in choker boxes as well, we should have plenty of storage for a 24-hour AFK session. And then over here, I actually haven't set up the chest. So the idea is maybe we want to push ender pearls through from the end or something like that. Have a big storage of those. There might be future items that we want to do stuff with. So I reserve the space, but you know, hoppers cause lag, and you know, they're kind of expensive, and it takes time to build up these levels. So I haven't placed these yet. That's just kind of space reserved for the future. And actually, if we don't end up using all of these rows, I might end up tearing these down, because this is a spawn. We don't want to have any more hoppers than we need. And then so we can also go up to the top level. We gotta go over here, and that's where the sorters themselves are. It gives us access to change the sorters or set them up as we need. So we've got a water stream that's going to come across all these sorters, and the water stream comes down from below and goes all the way back to the actual spawn point itself. So yeah, an absolutely massive storage project here, and a giant building built up around it. But that's not all this building has to offer. So this being a bank at all, trying to fit that theme, and now that I'm looking at it, these kind of look like teller stations. That's kind of interesting. So I thought it would be fun to have a vault as well. So we've got a secret door. This is a very old design. I got it from a video from Mumbo Jumbo, but it's been around for a really long time, and it still works. So basically, we just place a redstone torch. It activates the redstone torch, and that activates the redstone trigger, and that creates a hidden set of stairs. So I love doing this. This is way too much fun. And we can see it going away. There it goes. Very, very nice and hidden. So, missed. There we go. And so this hidden set of stairs was by FedEx Gaming. Now, the video I found was actually for Bedrock Edition, and it didn't work, obviously, in Java Edition. And I couldn't find anything quite like it, whereas a double set of stairs, I just really wanted this. Couldn't find anything quite like it, so I made quite a few modifications so that it would work in Java. So I'll make a tutorial for that at some point in the near future, because I love these stairs. We've got a button if we want to shut it from below. You can see it operating. I really love these stairs. These are a lot of fun. So yeah, hidden stairs going down to the vault level. Now this is where we scrimped on some lapis. All this iron that you see here was supposed to be lapis, but again, we ran out. So the vault had to suffer a little bit. So when we get it, we're going to place in some lapis, and this will be completely over the top, but I really, really love it. And then there's actually 2 vaults on both sides. And we've got a item frame unlocking method right here, and they're both set in the defaults. Right now we need to set the items so that they're active, but right now that is actually the combination right there. So this again is a design by Mumbo Jumbo, and that opens the vault door and that allows us to come into the vault. This actually is the only part that was meant to be iron because I think that looks good for the floor. So we've got some big vaults here that we can use to store our precious items and stuff like that. And there's also a door back here so we can gain access to all the things. So these vault doors over here, and that is a design by Ike. I'll put links in the description for all of these things. Oop, that's the water channel. And it's actually just kind of a simple double piston extender kind of design with honey blocks and slime blocks. It's really kind of hard to see from here. Not sure if I can get up there so we can see it. But it's not very complicated at all. Really simple design. It's just this on both sides and then honey blocks and slime blocks. And it's a double piston extender kind of deal. And yeah. And then this is Mumbo Jumbo's item frame unlocking mechanism right there. And let's see if we can find our way back into the vault. Over here we got, there we go. And we can shut this door and, you know, we can't get onto the other side because that's got the switch on the other side. And we got a button that opens it from the inside because it just kind of opens and it stays open for a little while and then it shuts like so. So if you unlock it, you've actually got a few seconds to like scramble your vault code and something like that, and then you can still get plenty of time to get in. So this is just this is completely pointless. There's no reason to have this. We could easily store our items anywhere else, but I was building a bank and it just seemed like the thing to do at the time. So each one of us is going to have our own vault and we can set our own codes, and I think that's actually kind of a fun design. There we go. Come all the way up, and all this redstone, I love this stuff so much. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to need a bunch of snowballs to make this farm. Fortunately, snowballs are really easy to get. You can really just trap a snow golem on top of a block and shovel the ground under their feet over and over and over again. And that's pretty simple. But I got a few extra ideas from Mango, namely having 2 of them, keeping them still with some fence gates right here. And then there's 2 hopper mine carts over 8 hoppers down there to collect the items very, very quickly. And then I've just got them loading into shulker boxes so I can move them around really easily. So I should just be able to place some snow blocks right here, put some heads on these guys, and they'll fall right down. And then I need some shovels because all my shovels are silk touch. So let's just go over to the trading center and grab some from whatever this guy's trading. Shouldn't have silk touch, hopefully. And looks like Fortune 1, Efficiency 2. Fantastic. I wonder if Fortune affects it. It might be worth looking into, but I don't think it does, but whatever. This will work for now, and it's fast and easy. So yeah, all I got to do is I think I got a point between them. Should be able to get both of them somehow. Looks like that's kind of working. Just need to find the right spot and collect a whole bunch of snowballs. Maybe if I hit it at a corner. That seems to work. There we go. Fantastic. Alright, so I've done the math, and it releases 4 snowballs every 1.2 seconds. So to run this for 24 hours, I would need 167 shulker boxes of snow. So I still want to do it. I'm still going to do that, but I might need some more robust storage than just yanking these off every time they get filled up. That might not work very well. And I also might need something to dispense some more tools to me every once in a while. I'll see if I can come up with something, but I don't want to put too much effort into it, but I don't want this to take forever. Alright, so I've got an unreasonable number of shulker boxes down here. This is almost the amount that I need, but then once I fill this all the way up to the top, then I can just put more shulker boxes near the bottom to clear out all the hoppers, and then that should be what I need. So that's a whole bunch of shulker boxes, and then I got a little timer here. Ilmango said 41. I might have to tweak this because we're on a server, but 41, it lasts about 6 seconds per pick. So these probably won't last me too long. I might need to make some more because I actually need to do this for about 2.5 hours to get the 250 some odd thousand snowballs that I need. But hopefully this works. So there's one shovel, and then I should be able to like just stand right here, and I'll go through a shovel pretty quickly, and then I should get another one right away. And we'll see if I've got enough shovels and everything like that. So yeah, I think these last about 16 seconds or something like that. It's pretty fast. And there should be, there's no shovels right here. Am I not standing in the right spot? Oh, I might need to move this. Yeah, there they are. Okay, let's see if I can stand back here without having to move it, because I've got shulker boxes in the way there. But yeah, this is the basic concept. I might have to tweak a couple of things, but this should work in the long run. If I don't get attacked by random zombies out of nowhere. Alright, with the shovel. So I was doing this for a little while, and I was talking to AstaZora about what I was doing, and I realized that I had miscalculated, and I was counting it as stacks of 64 when I counted the number of shulker boxes, and snowballs are in stacks of 16. So that means I would need 4 times as many shulker boxes. So that would be about 700, which is about all of my available shulker boxes, and would take about a dozen trips. I'm not doing that. And AstaZora actually had the idea that I could just set this up in the end, and so I checked, and yeah, this will work just fine in the end, and then I can just do it into regular chests, and actually I can AFK it while I'm operating the farm, so I can kind of like double time. The thing is, I need to make sure that I bring everything that I need in order to AFK this, because once I start the actual farm that we're going to be building, I can't leave the end at all. So if I forgot items, I'm kind of out of luck, and that would actually stop the farm, and we don't want that to happen. So I need to bring a whole bunch of iron and a whole bunch of wood so I can craft as many shovels as I need, because yeah, once I'm there, I'm stuck. So, but that should work, and I can actually double AFK both this thing and the actual farm itself, so that should work. But there are some extra things that I need to build up ahead of time before I can even get to that, so let's go do that first. So I'm over here at our mess of an end portal. This is where I set up the dragon egg duper in the past, and I never actually tore this down. It's actually still working. But what's convenient about this spot is that I'd already set up a chunk loader here. So Ray has his own chunk loader for the farm, but this one was already set up. So this is Nembom's design, and you can see it's actually operating right now. We're spitting items back through the portal, and then they come back through, and then they're spit out again, and that keeps this area loaded. So the other thing that I've done is I've set up over here is we've got a dropper that spits items into the end portal to keep the end platform. It keeps reloading it every time I spit an item in here. So if we, my inventory is quite full right now. So the thing I need to do is I need to add a bunch of items to this so that they will have items to spit through. Now this one isn't nearly as bad as the snowballs. So what I've got to do is this one is 1 every second. So over 24 hours, that's about 60 shulker boxes. So I did some figuring. I'm like, which items do I have the most of? And I'm pretty sure melon slices I have plenty of. So, because we might actually lose quite a bit of these items because they might get blown up by the withers and stuff. So yeah, so I don't really care about a whole bunch of melon slices. So I should be able to get together. We got the first load of 31, so I just need to grab another 31, 32. I want to have a little bit of extra just to make sure. But yeah, I need to grab a whole bunch more melon slices and then come back here in another trip. So I'm actually just going to remove these regular chests and just kind of like stack up a whole bunch of shulker boxes on top of this. This should be kind of interesting. So yeah, so we're just do kind of this deal, and shulker boxes all over the place. And we could probably put one here and just kind of keep stacking them as far as I can, something like this. And then now that I have inventory space, that's fine, that doesn't really matter. I can show how it operates. Basically all we have to do is I can't have this going right here, so let's turn that off, and the direction should be this and on 3 ticks, so like that. And then if we turn it on for just a second, that'll start it pulsing, and then we can turn it off like that. So there we go. So that part is all set up. I guess I only needed about 50 shulker boxes of items. I ended up loading 65. Not going to hurt anything, just, you know, if I AFK for a little longer, it will continue to work. So that is about 110,000 melons there. That's a lot of melons. So I started building the actual farm itself, and I'm about half done. I've got some chickens in here that are used to distract the wither. I used eggs to get them in here because I had a ton of those. So I'm got to this point right here where I got to the Obsidian Platform, and I need to start building around it. But the thing is, when anybody comes from the overworld into the end, this platform here and about 2 or 3 blocks above it get reset. So anything that I build there is just going to get wiped out completely. So once I start building that section, I'm actually stuck in the end until I'm done. And so that's actually going to have to be one of the last things I do. And so there's a few other things I needed to do beforehand. And one of the main ones was set up all the item handling. So down here, we've got all the hoppers that'll collect the obsidian. So this is an obsidian farm. This is a design by RaiseWorks where we're actually going to use 4 withers to destroy this platform over and over again. And the obsidian's going to come here. It's going to fall down onto these hoppers. And then the hoppers are going to collect them. And so we can put some items. I'll just put some eggs in here. And we can come down here and we can see that it should dispense these items, droppers. So they're spitting them out into a water stream. And that's what I've set up here. And the water stream goes on over here. And it just keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. Let's throw the rest of these in there. And then if we come up here, over to the end portal over here, we can see, hopefully we can get there in time that we can actually see them coming up here. And because I've already cut a hole in the bottom of the end portal, I can actually spit them underneath the end portal without having any obstruction above the end portal. So that's kind of cool. So that will send them over into the overworld. Here at spawn, I've got some blocks removed so that we can see what's going on a little bit better. Then there's still my shulker portal down there. And then I've added this switch and a little bit of redstone. So when I power this switch right here, it's going to move an ice block over the leaf block that was down there, and it's also going to activate a dispenser so that this right here, this is the one spawn block right here. So now there's a solid block right down there that is the highest solid block in the world. So that is where the items will land, and they will land in the water, and they'll start moving that way over towards our Obsidian Bank. And if I turn this off, then we should still be able to use the shulker system to transport shulkers from the end all the way to the nether. However, so I'm in a copy of our vanilla world so that I can be in creative and test out to see if the new system would interfere with the old shulker transport system. And I discovered that basically in 1.16 the shulker transport system doesn't appear to work at all. So before, when I would do this, it would send the shulker and the minecart through the portal at exactly the same tick. And now they actually try to teleport. They didn't used to do that before. And that's actually a pretty big problem. And I even tried removing all of the blocks that they could teleport to. And they do actually go through the portal, but they wait like 10-15 seconds before doing so. And so they're completely disconnected from the minecart. So that's actually a pretty big problem. So it means that the shulker transport system basically doesn't work at all in 1.16. I'll see if I can figure out any solutions, but if I don't, it's going to make moving shulkers a lot harder. But, you know, if we can figure it out, then I don't think my new system should interfere with this at all. But I really wish we had actually done all this in 1.15. We kept trying to do live streams of it, but we never, our schedules kept interfering with each other, and so it never actually happened. So here we are. It is what it is. So that notwithstanding, with the switch on, any items that are sent through the end portal should land on that water and be sent over to the Obsidian Bank. So let's put those blocks back. We'll go over there and we'll see if our eggs made it in there. And there they are. So they made it over to the overflow section right over here. So this is all the other items because I have actually set up all the filters for these 12 sorters right here. 24 sorters technically are all set up for obsidian. So that's going to be a lot of obsidian. And then while I'm here, I might as well load up all these shulker loaders with some shulker boxes. I'm going to start with 64 for now. And then maybe Asta will want to come through and set up some of his own. And there's probably some items that came through the testing and the building But yeah, so we'll load up all these. And also, I'm going to focus mostly on these first 5 and then load up a bunch of those. And that should be good for now. All right, I have set up the snowball machine in the end, way up there. And all these chests that are coming down here, this actually isn't even enough chests to cover it. It's pretty close, and they will be using them as I'm making more, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So let's go ahead and fly on up there. Same basic concept, just, you know, the same snowball machine. Oop, just barely short of that. Nice view of the cannon up here. And yeah, so basically the same thing. And this is going to be my AFK spot as well. I put it up high enough that Endermen can't spawn down there, so we can't have Endermen that are wandering over and distracting the wither, so that's fairly important. And then I've got a little crafting station up here where I can come up here and craft more shovels. Got 2 shulker boxes of iron blocks, 2 shulker boxes of logs, so that should hopefully cover the iron shovels quite well. And so this is all set up. So there's one more thing I need to do, and then we can start finishing this farm down here. So I got this resupply kit here, just in case the worst happens, because we're going to actually have to fight one of those withers in order to get rid of it. Hopefully we don't die, but if I do die, I'm going to want to have some items on hand. I'm also going to want to have my spawn point be right here, and might as well throw down an ender chest as well. So that should give me a decent chance of all that. And then we've got all the items set up. This chunk loader is working properly, so I think I'm good to go. And yeah, so I'm stuck in the end from now for at least another 24 hours. So here goes nothing. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. I have also gone ahead and set up a quad beacon with all the useful enchantments here. Should help facilitate an easier wither fight when it comes down to that. And also the regen will make it so that I don't have to worry about going through all my food while I'm shoveling a bunch of snow up there. All right, so let's go ahead and let's finish up this farm. So we only get one shot at this, so I made a copy of the world to test this all out, and on the first try, all 4 of them got out. So good thing I did that. So I had missed a few blocks, and then on the second try, one of them got out, and we ended up figuring out that one of the boats, I don't know what was wrong with them. They just were aligned improperly, and that one wither got out. So I definitely recommend, if you're going to do something like this, definitely make a copy and then test it, and then, you know, actually do it for sure. But yeah, so now that we've done that, we know that it's working. I also discovered, by the way, that my item collection system wasn't actually keeping up, so I added 2 more sets of hoppers that are feeding down into these ones right here. So we've got a little bit of extra. It still seems like we're not getting the full 90,000 items per hour, but none of the droppers or hoppers are getting backed up. So maybe it's just not quite the number that we would expect, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but we're still getting a lot of items per hour. Also, we discovered that this is probably going to kill the TPS on our server, but that is what it is. So hopefully that, you know, we're only running this for a day and then we're done with it. Oh, my thing is spitting out. That's not good. I'll have to fix that. So yeah, I think we're ready to start. We've got Asta should be joining shortly because he needs to do the other part of it. You can start this in one player. You just have to make some complicated system so that if you send an item through the end portal, because I can't leave the end portal, so I need some sort of redstone that would start the whole process over that we set up that drops the watermelon slices through the end portal. Something would have to start that remotely. It's a lot easier since I have another player to just use him and have him go on the other side and start that. So as soon as he's on, we'll get this started. I'm still very, very nervous. Alrighty then, so we had a bit of an incident where an Enderman almost immediately started chasing after one of the withers. And, well, one of the withers got out and it caused some big problems, and so we ended up having to restore from a backup. And so we're back to square one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate the switch down here, and then I'm going to fly up there immediately so that there's no Endermen around, because they'll all immediately despawn. And are you ready, Asta?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be with this.
All right, so as soon as I do, well, we'll give it 30 seconds after I do that. He's got a switch on his side that he's need to hit, and then I can use my spectator mode so we can get down and actually get a look at what's going on in there, because otherwise I'm just going to be 128 blocks in the sky. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and hit this switch here.
As soon as I hear him spawn, you want me to throw it?
I'll tell you when. We'll give it a few seconds. I want to make sure that everything looks all right once we get there. All right, so there we go, and up, 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 and away. That way we shouldn't have any Enderman problems, because that was a pretty big problem.
That was so much fun.
That was not fun.
All right, there's a turn of them spawning.
All right. Yeah, do you see it?
I don't see anything.
Okay. It looks good so far. I think... I want to make sure the explosion has actually happened. But it looks good. They're like blinking. That means the snowballs are being shot at them. So why don't you go ahead and start that up. Oh, yeah, I can actually see, it's barely, but I can see the obsidian going through. So, all right, it looks like we're going pretty good. I'm going to jump down in spectator mode and get a good look at that.
All right, I'm going to go check spawn and make sure everything's working there.
Okay. Alright, I'm down here in spectator mode, and we can see that everything appears to be working properly. It's actually breaking, but it's respawning almost nearly as quickly, and the limit on this is how fast they can break it. They'll only break it every 1 second. So everything appears to be working great here. The withers are all trapped. That's the really important part. And then if we come down here, we can see all the items getting spat out. This looks all great, and they're following the path all the way down, and they should be getting into the end portal and being sent over to the overworld. And then over here at spawn, we can see the items being spat out from the end. That's kind of fun to watch. They're like shooting up into the air and then landing in the water and going down this way. And we got a stray fox, and apparently I missed a water stream, so I might need to fix that because some of the items aren't making it through. And then the water stream goes all the way through, and then it turns over there. We can actually see items all the way down there. All right, so I guess I got myself some snow to harvest, and not anything else I can do in Minecraft for the next 24 hours. But that's okay, because I've got to do the editing for this video and get it uploaded. So that's all I'm going to do for today. I want to thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope to see you again soon, and you all take it easy. Bye now.